Hey guys, Toby again. This video is on day trading. So I'm still in development on this. I'm still learning. I'm still paper trading. So this is just to show you what some of the stuff I've learned. One of the things I'm still trying to learn is how to pick stocks for day trading. And what this is I did a scan for stocks that were a volume of 2 million or more, and stocks at a price range of 7 to 50. Anyways, so things I looked at was percent change and volume. So I just have done a little bit of paper trading or pretend trading for stocks, and it seems like high volume stocks work better. So all the stocks here are like 5 million shares or trades a day or more. I think this is a day. This might be a week. Anyway, the other thing is percent change. If the price of the stock is stagnant, obviously you're not going to make as much money. So that kind of makes sense to me. And the other thing I look at is this thing called a vertical horizontal filter. If the higher the number is, like 0.97 is I think the highest number here, 0.91, the more volatile it is, which means probably that it'll it'll be the biggest change might be because like this is 0.91 is probably because it's a spike. There's a big huge spike at the beginning of the day, and then it might go steady the rest of the day. So I think you want to try to get stocks that have, like, the lower the vertical ones, the better. Like here's a 0.56, and so what we have is these three things: percent change, volume, and vertical. So the biggest percent change was AMD. AMD is, like, I think, a popular stock. I just noticed that sometimes people talk about it in the online trading groups, discussion groups. It's like crazy volume too right now, and it's a 0.73. So vertical horizontal filter, so it's not like the highest, it's not like the lowest. This one here could even be good because it's percent change 0.5 and a low thing here. Something else we could look at, but I haven't, is called ATR, actual true range. I should have put that on here, but I didn't. So anyways, today's paper trade is AMD, and let's look at AMD. I think the most important thing for day trading is that you trade based on the trend. So, like, these blue lines are the trend lines: down, up, down. There's some areas that are sort of sideways. That's this one. That's called congestion areas. There's a blue line right there that's sort of going sideways. And when you're in the trade, it's each minute candle. It's hard to tell if you're in congestion or not. But my indicators kind of tell you whether you're in uptrend or downtrend, or at least. So we'll get into that a little bit better. How do you tell whether you're in uptrend or downtrend? But this is the big picture. I know it looks lots of stuff here. We're going to look at the big picture first, and then go down into some of the details. So the big picture is, if you these red lines here, that means I bought. This is called a short. So I bought here, or I'm sorry, I did a short sell here, and I did a buy to cover there. I know that's counterintuitive, but basically, we've always been ingrained in our head: buy low. Look at the screen line, but buy low, sell high. But you can also sell high, buy low. It's a weird thing. It's in the stock market world. So anyways, in that trade I made 0.7%. In this green one here I made 1.3%. This little green line I made 0.2%, 1%, and a 1%. And I tried to trade up here. It was 0%. Again, these are pretend trades using my stuff. So if you add all these together, 0.7, 1.3, 0.2, 1%, 1%, it adds up to 4.2% profits on 6 trades. 4.2%, did you guys hear me? 4.2% in one day. That's crazy. To give you an idea, the dividend reinvestment stocks that my family, my dad, my sisters do, you get about 4% a year. You get dividends back and you reinvest them, but that's about 4% of your stock. So that's what my dad did, became a millionaire. So that's 4% profit from dividends in the course of a year. This is 4% in a day. Again, part of the thing is stocks too. If you have long-term investments like dividend reinvestment plans are, there's growth, there's stock splits and things like that helped my dad become a millionaire back in the day, which was pretty amazing. Not so amazing now, but anyways, there's 6 trades, and for me it costs $10 per trade. Depending on if you use Robinhood, you can do it for free. Robinhood doesn't have stop losses, so I kind of shy away from them. But for day trading, it'd probably be okay to use Robinhood. Okay. But if you're going to do overnight or end of day trading, they call it, not so much. Don't do that. Always have a stop loss overnight. Or long-term or swing trading. Make sure you have stop loss. Don't use Robinhood for that. So like if you're playing with $30,000, then you made 4.2%, you would get $1,260 if you subtracted off the cost. 6 trades times $10 trades, the cost for trading. The broker gets some money. You'd make $1,200. $1,200 in a day. That's really, really good, guys. If you had a $3,000 investment, and let's say you could get $10 per trade. If you had $3,000, you'd make $126. And $60 is the cost. And if you strike that out, you're only making $66, but that's still 2.2% profit. So that's cool. Anyways, so that's kind of the big picture. All right, I guess a little bit more. So here's my strategy: 2 enter rules and 2 exit rules. Okay. So in this diagram, you notice these pink. These pink highlight rectangles, and then there's gold highlight rectangles. Okay. The pink ones are saying pretty much that, my program thinks you're on the top. And in this thing here, what you have to realize is that the stock goes up or down, up, down, up, down, up, and so when these pink indicators don't kind of indicate like mini tops. I suppose if you were to come and get the top of the day, it would be right there. But if you look the top of the hour or whatever, or the top of the trend, so the pinks represent the mini tops, and the pinks are put there based on my indicators, which I'll explain. The golds, on the other hand, represent, or my indicators say, hey, you're at a bottom or a mini bottom. Okay, so that's what the pinks and the golds represent. So here's a strategy for enter. If you're on a downtrend like this, see this downline here and that downline there. If you're on a downtrend, you want to enter when at the top. So my indicators say top, so in other words, the pink one's here. Okay, if they're pink indicators, that means that's a good time to enter. The gold ones, don't enter on those because it's a downtrend. Vice versa, if you're on an uptrend, then you enter on the gold. Okay, and then exit's the opposite. So if it's a downtrend, there's a pink. You enter here and you exit on the golds. Anyways, when you enter, also there's like false indicators sometimes. They're not quite as just mini indicators. But if you get 2 of these, like for examples, here's a gold there, rectangle, and there's a gold. You get 2 gold rectangles in a row, and there's even a sideways gold. That's a good indication. Time to enter. In this case, it's an uptrend. So there we go. You'd enter here. This would be a good candidate for entering. If you notice up here, there's like a couple pink things, so you could enter on the second pink one. Now in the exit strategy, what I did is I didn't wait. I call these gold and pink ones triggers. I didn't exit on the second trigger. Like I entered on the second trigger, but I exited on the first trigger. If I tried on the second trigger, it might work. I don't know. Have to paper trade it. I might make more money, but I might have more losses as well. So the strategy is to enter, making sure you have 2 triggers. That's conservative, and exit on the first trigger. So I'm being conservative on exiting and conservative on entering. Okay. Those are the details. So let's zoom in. I'm going to zoom in. Excuse the zoom, dudes. Takes a little bit while. Okay. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so the dashed line's the start of the day. And the first part of the day is usually the most volatile. It jumps around, and this particular day wasn't too bad. There's a big jump down, but yeah. So you can see I drew these pink things. Let me explain what the pink things are, how I drew the pink things. So there's a little round circle here. What that's my program, that those little red circles, and I'm sorry, there's a red circle and a green circle. Those little circles mean pullbacks, okay? I think I did a video on pullbacks last week. It basically means the price is going below or above a certain line, like the simple moving average. Goes down below and it comes back up and hits the line. So it pulls back to the SMA. Then it drops down below the SMA, then comes back up, gets at this red line's the SMA. So this is like going down and then coming up. So my indicator even says down, up. It's going down, then it's going to come back up again. That's sort of like a pullback, okay? So these pullbacks are good indicators. They always say there's whole videos and stuff on pullbacks, entering in on a pullback, right? So this pink line says this would be a good one to get in on a downtrend pullback. Another one is I might have to zoom a little bit more, guys. Yeah. Okay, so there's this top row of green rectangles, and the bottom row, the second row, which is also rectangles. Again, these could be black, green, or red. Green means, the first row means long-term uptrend. The second row is short-term. I'm sorry. The first row means, or the top row means long-term trend. The second row is short-term trend. So in this case, you see they're all green, right? So it's a upgoing long-term trend. The second row is short-term trend. You see red, that means that it's going down, downtrend. So basically the long-term says it's going up, the short-term says it's going down. The black means it's in transition. It's going from red, which is downtrend, to sort of a neutral black, and then to a green, which means it's going uptrend, back to a neutral, going down, neutral, up. And so if we're on the top, right, and both the long term and the short term are like saying, hey, we went from being positive uptrend, which is green, to a red uptrend or downtrend, that this is the transition period. That means you're transitioning from the top going up to the bottom, going down. So that's what this pink triangle is. There's also these little bubbles. There's a purple T bubble and a purple T bubble there. My program puts these in there automatically when my program thinks it's at the top. So if you look at this, we got 1, 2, 3 different pinks here that say we're at the top. And I really only need 2, but at the beginning of the day it's kind of iffy because it's so volatile. So anyways, I got 1, 2, 3, and so I'm saying when this this one here hit, and that one there that I'm entering right down here, which is, I probably could have entered there or there. At any rate, I'm entering right around here. And these are the minute bars. Now I got the gold bars, right? So this D, let me see. You got a bunch of these red ones here. This is D question mark, down question mark, down question mark, down question mark, whatever. But this kind of tells you that, man, I'm not sure if we're going to keep on going down, but I think we are. At any rate, what this gold triangle here is for, I did it sideways just so you can see it better, is trying to capture this B for bottom. And there's another B for bottom. So we have two B for bottoms here. So my program thinks that these are bottoms. Now, again, this could be a mini bottom. Right? And there's a B there. So they got 1, 2, 3 Bs. That's why this thing's here. And the other thing you see is this red little circle here. Now you can see it better, this red circle. That's saying, hey, that's kind of a pullback. And there's a blue triangle, so something major is happening here. So anyways, I entered here and I'm going down and I hit my first little B. These little B's aren't as predictable or good as they should be, but they are kind of indicators, so I don't really always have them in gold, but I always try to get a couple of these things either stacked up on top of each other. You start seeing 3 of them in a row, boom, boom, boom. So anyways, that's why I exited about right here. I saw 1B, and then I saw this round circle. That's my second one. So I could have exited here on the first B, but these B's aren't really unreliable, so I didn't put a gold one here. And then anyways, here's my exit, and this was from here, which is 29.90 to there, 29.67. Like a 25-cent, 30-cent profit. That was my first one. So anyways, we can look at another one. I drew, by this time, if you kind of hook up the peaks here, there's a peak and there's a peak, and you can draw there's a peak, draw the blue trend line in there, right? That's a downward trend. And then notice that this SMA breaks through downward trend. So right there you could say that we're kind of breaking through from a downtrend to at least a sideways trend. But I told you my program would tell us if we're in a downward trend or not. So this top line here, that tells you a long-term trend. When it turns black or red, that means it's a downward trend, and then a long-term trend in red here means it's a short-term downward trend. So both of these guys, long-term and downturn, are in agreement that it's a downward trend. So that means we're in a downward trend, and we have the top pink indicators. So that's why we enter here. Does that make sense? You enter a downward trend at the top. As far as exit, it doesn't matter if you're at the top or bottom or middle. If you want to exit, you can take your profits. Anytime you can take a 1% profit, there's nothing wrong. You can take it anywhere, whether it's trend is sideways up or whatever. Okay. So my next pink things are over here. There's 2 of them in a row. But notice that it's a green. This means we're in an upward trend, and you're supposed to enter an upward trend, not at the top but at the bottom. So since we're in an upward trend, we're looking for the bottoms. Okay. Anyways, there aren't any other gold. The next gold we come to here. Okay, so here is a pink indicator for the top. because they both of them changed. And this one was so. But as you can see, the blue line is just kind of the stock's kind of just going sideways. So we're in a period of congestion. You might consider this one an enter. I don't consider this a really good enter fee area. So at any rate, you notice we're at an upward. We kind of changed here from this red long-term trend went to black, and so basically we're saying right here, both the long-term and the downturn are both agreeing that we're in an upward trend. So an upward trend, we enter for a bottom, and this is kind of indication that we could be at the bottom or near the bottom. Now we're going along, and we got a pullback circle, and then we have even a pullback bubble. So now we actually got 3 indicators that say we're at the bottom of, you know, a mini dip at least. So basically my entry is like right, this is a one minute candle, so I detected it here, and then I was able to enter it here, right there. So going along, right, and here's a pink bar, so I could exit here. Everything, let me say this, all these lines are, you don't know what they all mean, but all of them are green. So it tells me that it's really pretty sure that it's going to go up. I'll zoom in a little, just temporarily. You see these triangles here? That's the RSI indicator, which is like the best RSI indicator I like, and Paul Anderson too. This says that the RSI indicator thinks it's still going to go up. So my general rule was exit on the first one, but I can't go into all my strategies. I just but anyway, so this comes with experience. So the RSI indicator says green. I'm pretty confident it's going up. It's going up. Also, if you look at the SMA red line here, all the bars are way above it. They're not even touching it or below it. So these things say up question mark, up question mark. So my program thinks it's going to go up still. So I wouldn't exit here. But now over here I got a T and a T. So 2 bubbles that are T. The volume bar or the candle hits the SMA. So this is a good spot to get out. So I got out the next candle right there, and that was a 1.3% profit. Yeah. And what happened? We got a bunch. This blue triangle here means people, a whole bunch of shares are bought or sold, were traded, and it kept on going up. At any rate, I took a 1.3% profit. That was good. So going along here, we're in an uptrend, and the general rule of thumb is to if you're going to enter an uptrend, you enter at the bottom, right? And so what we have here is some of these. This one here is the pullback. These little red circles there are pullbacks. So that's one way to tell to enter it. Then it also bubbles say pullback, right? So I entered here, right there. I suppose, and the price was going around, came up, come down. I get my pink here, so I exited there, and I made a 2.2% profit, which isn't very good, but it was okay. I think what had happened was, if you look at this blue line, activate. Arguably, I could have drawn this blue line, something like that. Oh. You know, something like that. You can see the blue trend line. And so here's the uptrend going up. It hit here. And now we're sort of on a mini downtrend. So, at any rate, it wasn't a loss, as you can see. And if you look at the green triangle, or I'm sorry, the green rectangle long term, and then the red triangle short term trend, they're in disagreement. So this may have not been the best place to move to get in, but it was okay. It wasn't a loss. So anyways, go along. And the next one, I gotta rescale. All right. So this is kind of weird. I got a green pullback bubble here. That's why it's pink. And a gold bottom. They're kind of in conflict. And again, I'm waiting for two in a row. I do see some ups happening, like it's going up. At any rate, this is, whether it's pink or gold right now is not certain. It might go down or it might go up. But we're pretending going along, and all of a sudden going, and now we got some more ups coming, and another gold and a pink. Well, it should be obvious by now that it's an uptrend. You got 4 ups in a row, and now you have your 2 pinks in a row and 2 golds in a row. So while the pinks and golds conflict each other, the stock is actually going up, and we got these green bubbles going. So if you add up all the evidence together, the weight of the evidence says it's an uptrend. And so this is like, then this gold here is like saying, hey, we're at the bottom. So this is where I'm entering right there. Okay. Trying to think of why that's. Oh, I know why this is a gold. You see this red long-term trend and a green short-term trend. Both of them are showing uptrends now. The long-term changed from being downtrend to uptrend, so that's why it's gold. So that's saying enter. Boom, I entered. And now we're coming up. We got a pink one. The bar is green. The candle's green. It's above the SMA. The RSI triangle, which you can't really see right now, is green. So even though it's pink because of this round pullback circle. Let's say it expects it to come back down, pull back to the SMA and come back up. So what happened? It went sideways, but it didn't even make it to the SMA and started going up again. So we expect after this green pullback circle, it's to stop going up, but just go sideways or down a little bit, but then to go back up again. That's called the pullback. This pullback theory. So that's what happened. At any rate, because RSI was green, right? I stayed in it. I could have probably kept on staying in until it turned red up here, and that probably would have made better sense to do it. I guess in retrospect I would have even done that. Nonetheless, even doing it the way I did it, I made 1%. You know, I could have probably made closer to 1.5% there. Okay, this is tedious. This is long. You could leave if you want. I'm just gonna. I think I just got one or two more. Okay, so this one, right? We know we're in an uptrend. The green top row is still green rectangles. We see these gold bars here. The reason these gold bars are here are gold was because one, this is like the pullback bubble. It's saying, hey, we're at the bottom of the pullback, and then we got the red pullback bubbles here. So we got two indicators saying we're at the bottom. And by the way, more RSI theory. So see these red triangles? Basically it's saying the RSI thinks it's going down. It's going down, it's going down. And look at it, it's kind of been going down, down, down. And you say, well, what's to prevent you from thinking it's going to keep on going down and down and down? Well, one thing is the bottom row of triangles here, this is volume. The red triangles mean see these red triangles? There's little volume going on. People aren't trading. So when, in this case, when in the uptrend, if people aren't trading, then the price starts going back down. So you'd expect, but you're not really worried about it. People aren't trading. You're not get it's. You shouldn't be worried about it when there's no trading on. When you get these black ones, but especially the blue triangles, then it's like, whew, something's happening. People are making things happen, right? Anyways, so it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, and now you got these black triangles, so the volume trading's picking up, and RSI says red, so it's going down, but now RSI's are turning green, right? And so when you see these black triangles on red RSIs, you start getting a little bit worried. Right there, it turns around. At any rate, right there is where I entered, and it went back up here. I saw pink, green RSIs, green RSIs, green RSIs, and then I saw this yellow top. My program thinks this is a top or mini top, so I just took my profits here and got out here. And the next bar too, the RSI turned red, so I could have got out the next bar as well. So that was a 1% profit. We're on an uptrend, so we're looking for a down. We're looking for a gold. My program doesn't put in these gold things or pink things. It's up to you guys to know to recognize this. That's what this video is for. We're in an uptrend, so we want to enter on a bottom, right? Notice that this gold has a red circle. That's a down. That's why it's gold. This pink is for because we have a green circle, and I noticed right here I have a green circle too that could have been a pink. At any rate, there's no, so I could have had a pink right here, but we're looking for a bottom. Here's a top. We're not looking for a top. We're looking for a bottom because we're on an uptrend. Okay, and anyways, now we get all these things stacked up. So my program thinks 1, 2, 3, 4 bubbles were at the top. Okay, so that is a really strong indication that it's probably going to be the top there. but we're on an uptrend and reach the top. That means we probably are going to start reaching a downtrend. And so it reaches this area top here, goes down and sort of flat lines, kind of going sideways. Right around here, the blue line long-term trend crosses the SMA. So that means officially the uptrend is over. If you look at the top row, we got green uptrends transitioning over to a red. Green. So now both the long-term and the downturn are saying things are going to start going down. We got the top indicators here, so we think we're getting close to the top. And remember, right here it's transitions from going to an uptrend to at least a sideways trend, right? But there's still some more transition going on. So right here, I'd say is where we're got to consider that we're going into congestion. We aren't going to uptrends anymore. This is red. It means that it's going down, or at least sideways. And so now from this point on, we're looking for top indicators, 2 top indicators, okay, in a row. So we get over here. We got a green one, but we got a couple bottoms. So we have conflict of interest. And actually show a green line like I entered the trade. I think it's because I was considering this one here pink and that a pink and it being a top, and I was looking at the top row here as being long term. So this is like a sort of questionable entry point, but I entered it here, and then it switched to a long-term uptrend. All sorts of pinks. I probably should have got out over here. I don't know what I was doing. I just switched from. I got out. So in retrospect, I'm looking at this. I think that this was. I'm at the top. I'm entering a downtrend. So it's okay to enter here. That would have been better because this is the first pink line after the we know it's confirmed downtrend or congestion. That's the second one. We're at the top. There's a third one, and now we're just going down. We're looking for the gold. That's the first gold. So that should have been my trade right there. Or even lower. So you got red bar, red candle, red candle, red candles. Red RSIs. There's a green RSI, so that could have been my exit there. Wow, that would have been a good one. That would have been a really good one. 45 cents. Price is 31.45. 85. That would have been a 1.1%. Anyways, long video. I'm sure you didn't make it to the end.